Welcome to Hit the Bar, the Shrimps fans panel. We've got tonight Jimmy rejoining us and Freddie and Nathan, who's been on once before but works a lot of evenings, so can't get every time. Right, I'll just ask the question, blunt. Are we doomed?
Yes.
Are we doomed?
Yes.
Are we doomed?
Yeah.
Right. Join us next week. No, joking. We're saying that on the back of a particularly, I don't want to say the other P, poor performance against Carlisle. Is that the worst we've seen this season?
I was just going to say, I think it's possibly the worst we've seen all season, yeah.
Agreed.
Just fair. It appeared to be lack of effort now. I don't know whether it was, whether they were just so much better than us. But I mean, they're a poor side.
Yeah.
They just made us look like we weren't there at all, up to the races or anything like that. No pressing, second to everything, no real feistiness in any tackles. Hoof ball. No, yeah, it was just. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know whether Hughes just did us tactically. Like, you know, they went with width, didn't they?
Yeah.
And we put everyone in the middle of the park, and they just came bombing down and taking. Well, Adam Lewis just looked miles off it, didn't he? But it was 2 against 1 all the time. So.
And we've not said that many times, Nathan, have we, this season? Even in the defeat at Grimsby, we gave it a good go, and in the first half, we matched them, didn't we? But the other game that I think we just didn't turn up on was Accrington away, of course. But I think that was as bad on Saturday. Everybody came out really down after that one.
Oh yeah, I left after 90 minutes. Just as well, I thought the third goal had gone in, but then I found out it was chalked offside. But it was pathetic. I just thought we've got to really be up for this, and even if we lose, just go for it. But I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. They just wanted it more than us.
And then they weren't a good side, were they, Freddie? They weren't. They looked fragile. I think the first goal was always going to be important.
Yeah. I mean,
that's true.
Yeah, we seem to have done really well against the teams around us. And like I said, even against the big teams, we're having periods where we are on top. And there was none of that. Absolutely none of it. It was as bad as Accrington away, probably about that level. Just disappointed, and I think I was shocked. I thought the players have put a shift in all season, and I just expected them to do it because they've been doing it.
And we know how key that game was.
I think everyone just sort of looked in disbelief and deflated, and I thought we would take it to the end because that's what we do, but we've not now, have we? So,
I mean, it's probably the only game apart from Accrington where I've not wanted to stand there and applaud them off the pitch because they do put a shift in, don't they? But
I thought they deserved it.
You are?
I don't think they deserved it.
No. Sorry. Yeah, I thought you said. I thought they did. No, they didn't. They get it, but they didn't deserve it on that game. It's just somewhere wrong.
Some of the big names that have been there all season, like Tom White, ole, like unbelievable, any all season. He was off it, but he didn't have anyone. It was like he had no one to press. Didn't see him tackle anyone, and then Callum Jones just wasn't up for the fight. Reece was really poor. I just didn't get it at all.
Just shocking, wasn't it?
Shocking, yeah.
We said last week that the side that wins it will be the one to keep 11 men on the pitch. I wouldn't have minded seeing one of ours get stuck in.
Yeah.
Flying with a tackle at knee length or something.
I think that's the only thing Angle did all day, wasn't it? Leave his studs in on everyone. He didn't get the ball much.
I thought he had a poor game.
He didn't do much.
Seemed too interested in trying to harm their centre half.
I think he was interested, and I thought it was spot on that the sponsors gave the man of the match to Fairclough, who'd been on the pitch for about 16 minutes.
He did look bright though.
But I think that was a comment as well, wasn't it? It was like, hang on a minute, lads. This lad's come on.
It's a bit embarrassing.
Shown you a bit of energy. Yeah. We're going to give him the man of the match.
He's what is he? 17? 18?
Yeah. If we are doomed, they're the players that should be playing. My eyes. Snowballs himself.
I mean, he's not mathematically certain, but I think it was Gareth Finney who was here the other week, and he said we need one away win. Now, out of the 2 games that we've got left, Bromley pretty much nothing to play for. Chesterfield out, they're still going for the playoffs, as are Salford, who we've got at home. So I know we're going to Bromley, aren't we, Freddie?
Unfortunately, yeah.
Do you see anything out of that one?
Yeah, I think as we said, it's of all the away games we have left, it was one we're most likely to get points for. But I just get the impression now, especially according to Derek, that he thinks it's probably over. And are they going to be motivated after working so hard the whole season? And our away form, especially in the second half of the season, I don't see anything from it.
And it looked on their attitude on Saturday against Carlisle. It just looked as if they resigned to it, didn't it? You know, a lot of us have sort of been mentally preparing for it, but they haven't shown that. They've shown the fight and togetherness and still wanting to do it. But you know, when we're looking at going to our away games, if it's the side that won the 2 games at home, fair enough. But if it's the side against Carlisle, we might as well wrap it up now.
Yeah,
it'd be a very Morecambe thing to do though now, wouldn't it? To go on an absolute run and then still fall just short.
At one point.
It'd be an absolute Morecambe thing. With no pressure on, mathematically relegated, pull out some great performances at the end to finish it.
League One last season, League One, we somehow got into the last game, didn't we?
Yeah.
That Cole Stockton goal, wasn't it? Against Lincoln.
Well, we're talking about that today. If Cole Stockton had pulled his finger out early on, we wouldn't have got relegated that season. But so we're all pretty doom and gloomy, but we're looking forward to a season. We think most probably statistics will tell us the odds will be against us staying up. So we're probably looking at National League. Is that a really bad thing for us?
Personally, I think that's our level currently. In terms of size of club, budgets, where we are, ground, etc. I feel that's probably our level. I mean, it feels like we've been, year 5s playing year 6s for a while, a bit punch drunk and that. Maybe it'd be nice to play our own level, if you like. But there's always big clubs down there, internet, so one gets a big cash injection, they go up to the top. But I could see us sitting in the top half, happy, watching some good results, playing some good football. I'd be happy with that.
Yeah,
bit of positivity for a while.
Yeah, I'm not saying I wouldn't. I wouldn't if that were the scenario. I just don't know whether that's going to be the scenario.
Well,
again, we still don't know what fate holds for us off the pitch, do we?
That's what we're worried about, isn't it?
Well, I mean, I heard somebody saying this week that, Jason and if it is the Punjab lads, they might be quite happy for us going down because they're not bothered about Morecambe. They're not bothered about Morecambe being, they don't have the same bond with it as we do, and it will mean that they won't have to pass the EFL fit and proper tests. But I don't know. Do you think there's anything in that?
I don't know. Not really. I've heard rumours. Obviously, it's not stringent in the National League, but who knows? From what we've had in the last few years, you just don't know, do you? So, you had like Lamos and then was it Joseph Carla and then he started with Bond Group and everything was rosy for a bit, and then it.
I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised if it came out in the wash that there's been a plan all along of some description, as if it was written by ITV or something like that. But
maybe
there's something in this. There's something.
Maybe Shoots Trust could look into the actual regulations of the National League and work out if that is a possibility. Because you wouldn't put it past Jason, would you, to do anything?
I wouldn't put anything past him.
That's going to benefit him and not benefit us. So,
because then they would get control, and he wouldn't have to pay him the money that he's got from somewhere. He's saying he's got a backer, and we're all assuming it's somebody connected with them.
In my opinion, that's clearly the only one he will sell to is Punjab, because he's been so long trying to get them through.
After the Bradford game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
If we can keep some of the players, though.
That's another thing.
Because we've got good National League players, in my opinion.
Yeah.
A few of them.
Yeah.
Agreed.
But they don't want to drop out of the league, a lot of players. Derek, we had this discussion before as well. Derek might think he's still got a future in the in the league and the players. It's a massive thing to him. He's going into the non-league out of the league.
Yeah,
I know a few of
bits
them came
as
from
well.
non-league, but
Yeah, I think if there's a story to it or a potential rise, I mean, look at Wrexham and stuff and the players that dropped down there because there was so much publicity with it and all that kind of stuff.
you mean
As
if
long
an
as
idea
If
is
there's an
sold to
idea
them?
and there's something happening, then they'll get on board with that. I think.
I mean, you mentioned the Shrimps Trust, and we had that survey out, didn't we, this week? And they've said that there wasn't enough votes in the survey that they put out. They needed 50%, and there wasn't quite enough 50% response from all the members to call it a majority. But from those who did submit their survey, the majority of those were not in favour of this not a penny more thing, which is about not spending on season tickets in a way to force Jason out. Where are you with that?
I don't know very much about it in terms of how is it actually going to impact Jason, as you say.
Yeah.
As in, will it really tighten the purse strings and cause something to happen? But I am very much the kind of person that thinks something has to happen. So, catalyst in terms of we have to do something as fans. I feel like I'm sat on my thumb doing nothing and have done for years. So I want to do something. I'm just not sure whether that is that the right thing. But I'm all for doing something.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Is it just a question of frustration and people, like you're saying, they're going, well, we can't just do nothing. We've got to do something. Or is it something that you think genuinely could force Jason's hand? I don't know.
I mean, as Jimmy said a few weeks ago, the madness quote, what was it? Something like, if you keep doing the same thing day in, day out, and you get the same terrible results, then that is madness. For me, you've got to change what you can change, and what we can change is this. In my opinion, it worked with Blackpool really well. And I do sort of get the logic behind it in terms of you've got Jason and having to try and get more money, and basically taking the factor of fan loyalty away, because as loyal fans and across all leagues in world football, in my opinion, the owners take advantage of fan loyalty. Like if you look at Man United with the £60 for a young adult or something, taking that off Jason,
and telling him you can't rely on it.
Yeah, the leverage of having the fan loyalty, I think he will start to shake. That's my opinion. But yeah,
where are you on that?
I hope he's right.
What will you be doing now? What will you be doing? Will you be putting your pounds in for a season ticket next season?
Probably will, yeah. Because in some ways, I think what I'll do on Saturday, every other Saturday.
Yeah,
I think it's well, enough people doing it, and it doesn't a lot of the money on our season tickets go to the run of the club.
Well, it does, yeah.
The basics,
then I think what Freddie's saying, there would be a shortfall.
Yeah,
and he's having to make that shortfall all the time. If there's a bigger shortfall, then he's having to borrow more, and he might not be prepared to do that.
Yeah, there'll be a spreadsheet somewhere, won't there, with a baseline of like money that they're getting from season tickets. We get this every time, and we have to find this.
I don't know if I could be convinced that that action would definitely have an impact, then I might be persuaded. I just think he's such an arrogant man that it's just as likely to get his back up. And he go, right, I'll tell you what then, I'll bankrupt the club. I'll put you into administration. And then, the EFL, the non-league, the National League doesn't like clubs that are in administration. So I don't know.
Yeah. There has been a change in terms of when you talk to people. I don't think people are going to risk as much money as they did. So say, for example, the hospitality season tickets, people have kept them because they want to keep that seat. They are quite expensive, but a lot of people that I've spoken to have said, I'm just going to go for a halo in case something happens. I've not lost as much. Do you know what I mean? So maybe something will happen inadvertently anyway for people not wanting to risk as much.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I think I'll let the early bird offers go,
maybe,
and then I'll not buy my season ticket after that, and then I'm saving more money. No, that don't work. And we don't know, do we? And I can see why people want to do something. You know, and it's
Yeah.
like you say, they shouldn't think that they can rely on us, because the fans, as Tom White said this week, the fans have been marvellous all season. We've been watching either bottom or second or third to bottom team for the whole season, and they've got behind them every game, haven't they? You know, and that's something that they should be respected, not taking the mickey out of.
Yeah. There's always been a couple of players on the pitch that have given us that extra, given us that lift, and rewarded us as fans. But last week
Wasn't there?
wasn't there,
Yeah.
so I'm a bit worried.
Well, we're a bit down, but hopefully we can get that one away win at Bromley. Whether or not we're Salford at home as well, we've got plenty to talk about next week. Join us next week on Hit the Bar. Cheers.